particular really stands out about Ohio State's offense that presents the biggest challenges?
Yeah, with as long as Coach Meyer's been doing this, and since Bowling Green, he's been it's been his offense. And whether he was one of the founding fathers of spread before it was before people called it spread, I referred to it in the write up for the players as not a spread offense. I wrote it as the spread offense, and I did it purposefully because Coach Meyer's offense from Bowling Green to Utah to Florida to Ohio State has made people famous. It's made players famous. It's made coaches famous. His coaching tree is all around the country. They're all basically running that offense, and whether they tweak it a little bit, most don't. They run Coach Meyer's offense, and it's pretty awesome. So you can start there systematically. I've unfortunately had a chance to see it many times, and it's awesome. And then you go to the players. So they have really talented offensive players, a veteran offensive line that's long and athletic. They have a senior quarterback who just runs their offense with great efficiency. I'm sure he probably feels like an extension of the coaching staff out there, and they feel like that about him. Protects the ball, protects the plays, protects the edges. Just does a really nice job with working that offense. And then the guys that he's going to deliver the ball to are all very talented. The ball is the guys that he hands the ball to and the guys that he throws the ball to. So you have to defend 53 and a third, and they create a lot of space, get the ball quickly to those players in space, and then those players do their thing.
Defending the read option, what are the keys? What do you think is most important in stopping that play?
I think that eye discipline, systematic clarity. So I think that's a big deal. Not trying to just throw a bunch of stuff at things, but that the players know their job on each down, because you need to have the dive, the alley, and force defended on every down. And with the ability to throw the ball down the field as it looks like runs, that's the next element. So the defensive backs have to have clean eyes and be on their work as it relates to the receivers. And the front needs to be on their work as it relates to dive, alley, and force.
Hard.
Very hard.
Does any? I just got here, so
I just got here too. We're perfect timing.
Does anything in particular jump out about Dobbins, the running back?
I mean, other than size, speed combination, he's got elite. I would say elite start-stop speed. So that might be something that might be if you're looking for a unique trait. I think that's unique to him. Yeah, he's kind of a jump cut runner, and he can accelerate and get to full speed very, very quickly. Some runners have building speed. Some runners make people miss by quick cuts. Some runners run people over. And I'm not saying he doesn't possess those traits, but he's got great stop speed and contact balance.
And Weber, is there anything that defines him in your mind? Weber, the backup who got to play last year?
Yeah, no, I think I don't know exactly how much bigger he is, on tape or whatever. I don't have their tangible traits memorized, but breaks tackles, good speed, good quickness, can do all the jobs. He looks like maybe, I don't know 100% here, but maybe he's utilized in the passing game a bit more. That they throw the ball to him a bit more, have him pass protect, maybe check release, and run some of their passing concepts where he's evolved. So he might have, and the other guy's a true freshman, so it's harder to consume the whole offense when you're just a young player.
How much value, if any, do you put in last year's film on that game?
Oh, I mean, we'll try to consume everything we can, just to pick up any little tidbits we might be able to pick up. It's not like, as a staff, we're not going to try to watch everything we possibly can. You might see a thing that you didn't see, a play, a formation, a shift, a trade, a hand signal, a different tempo, any myriad of different things. So I don't think, burying your head in the sand is positive. Now, as it relates to what the players consume, we gotta have an art form there and be very crafty. So.
When you look at that Wisconsin game again, the defensive line, which is young, relatively, I don't think you have any seniors on it. I just feel like they played, and how valuable will that experience be for those guys?
Yeah, as is the case, even when I was a player, my coach would say, hey, it's never as good as it's never as good as you thought it was or you think it is, but it's also never as bad. So obviously crushed about the loss, disgusted with the production up to this point as it relates to just everything. I mean, if you're a fierce competitor, you don't like sitting here at 3-3, But I went to bed that night, and I was really upset that I felt like we got pushed around and mauled and beat up a little bit. That did not happen. Okay? With 1:20 to play in the first half, they haven't scored a touchdown yet. And then a ridiculous play, completely preventable. Nothing. No, and give them credit, but we caused that score at 1:20. We did. Nobody got knocked down, pushed, battered. That it was a few busts systematically on that play. And then with 5 minutes to play in the third quarter, they still hadn't scored their second touchdown of the game. That happened at 5:19 or 5:15. So the game should have never got to ground and pound. It's unfortunate it got to ground and pound. When the game gets to ground and pound based on score, time, and timeouts, any offense, and in particular one of the best rushing offenses historically in the country. But, you're playing against, if you're playing against Navy, you're playing against Army, you play against some of these teams that know how to really run the ball like Wisconsin. They get to ground and pound. It's very hard. You got to try to get the game to not be ground and pound. And even all those plays in the final 19 minutes of the game, because it really was 2 scores until that point. So 41 minutes defended by those players. Really pretty stout and pretty well. But even after that, every single play is correctable. Every single play. It's not the players. It's not players. It was plays, and the plays are correctable. So you grade it, you watch it, and you're encouraged. I mean, you can't help but be encouraged, I would think. I was encouraged. I mean, disappointed. I don't want to minimize that for Husker Nation. Disappointed, but encouraged about the future.
Do you think when a defensive line is young, okay, and Carlos is a sophomore, Will's sophomore, Nick's a junior,
DeAndre's true freshman. Yeah.
how long
Yeah. Ben Stilley.
the development and that incubation period takes to get that group? All right, now we expect them to be sort of at that upper echelon.
Yeah, I think you build a bank account of trust with plays that get corrected. So what's the next play to get corrected? You call a pressure, and the player away from the pressure is supposed to loop outside, and he doesn't. And the ball creases where you're, like I mentioned, flying at 8,000 feet as opposed to flying at 40,000 feet based on competition, where that player was able to push the tackle into the window, or the back was either a little bit slower or a little bit lighter and had trouble cramming it through the crease. Now you're playing Wisconsin, Ohio State, you're flying at 40,000 feet. The O-lineman is a lot harder to push back into the crease if your foot action and your assignment isn't perfect. And then that little crease, the back is more than talented enough to gas it into that window and crease it through there. So that action, just that loop step we're talking about, it needs to be perfect. It needs to be urgent. You can't be late. As soon as you know it's a ball stun, as soon as the ball moves, you go. Your foot action's perfect, so your balance and your weight distribution in your stance and on your feet needs to be perfect. There's so many things to getting done that job, that one job, and I could say at least 100 more things for each particular guy on each particular down. So so we got that corrected. Put it, log it. They care, so they don't typically make multiple mistakes. So we're getting better. We're better today, and we'll just continue to get better as coaches.
Hey, with someone like JT Barrett, do you run anybody other than a quarterback on the scout team to prepare for his elusiveness?
I think you definitely could. It's a great question. Really nuts and bolts question, kind of cool. We don't really, the Ohio State's offense is hard for our look team to simulate, right? That makes sense, right? Anyway, but our look team quarterback is a pretty good runner. So
And that's Tristan?
our look team quarterback is not Tristan, yeah. So he does a nice job running. He doesn't necessarily run like JT, but not many do. And but he does a real fine job for us.
That's
Bunch. Yes, sir.
Looking back on Chris Jones's debut, obviously you got some time. Do you anticipate that evolving into maybe a bigger role going
Oh, absolutely. Everything that happened with Chris happened by design. We had a plan together as a football family, and it was executed. And it was just the right amount for him. Let's just to get his beak wet, so to speak. And now he's going to be back in the role that most people anticipated, and that is appropriate for this week. This is a high tempo offense. Some of these plays come at us at 11 seconds. So they're moving very fast. I think that's Coach Wilson's touch, who's a fantastic offensive coach. I have deep respect for him and his offenses that he runs and leads. And they're moving at a high rate, similar to how his offenses ran at Indiana. So how many plays can each player play in a row? We'll see.
The way they use that H-back Campbell this year, is that sort of unique in the landscape of football?
I think all of that stuff is unique, yeah. I think Coach Meyer does as good a job, if maybe better, than any team historically does with getting the ball to his playmakers in unique ways and utilizing them. And like I said, putting pressure in areas on defense with his best players. It's pretty awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.